how to follow your dreams when you don't know the way. I stand before you here today as a woman who has ridden a motorcycle across more than 35 countries, and I am here to tell you that breaking barriers is not only possible, but is also an incredible and life-changing experience. I grew up in a middle class family where everyone used to call our home the Matchbox House because of how tiny it was. But that didn't stop my parents nor me from dreaming big. I remember my parents working really hard to provide for me and to give me a good education. This was definitely what motivated me to work really hard and be better right from the beginning. Soon after college in Hubli, I moved to Bangalore for work. After 5 years of working in a corporate organization, I realized that this life wasn't for me. I absolutely loved being in the outdoors and I wanted to pursue my interest in motorcycling. But since this was not a conventional job, and my parents were really worried for me and told me that everything that they had worked for their entire lives to get me to where I am today, I'm giving it all up just to ride a motorcycle. It was a crazy idea. Even though I was very scared of my decision, I knew I had to take this step. I knew I had to take the risk, and I gave it a timeline of 1 year. I had to prove to them that in this 1 year that I am going to pursue motorcycling and I'm going to make a living out of it. And if I couldn't do it in that 1 year, I would definitely go back to my corporate job. So soon after that, I did not waste a single day in my life. I worked multiple freelance jobs, from teaching women how to ride motorcycles to working at event management companies, from modeling assignments to running in motorcycles for my family and friends. Every little thing helped me. A lot changed for me in the year 2015 when I left on a solo ride across India. I remember telling my mother that year that I would come back home once the 70,000 rupees of savings I had would run out. You wouldn't believe if I told you that after covering 32,000 kilometers in 7 months across India, I still went back home with 20,000 rupees to spare and a whole lot of experiences and adventures. Unbelievable, right? But that's where the power of prayers and manifestation comes into play. The more you dream, the more you work hard and do it with the right heart, the universe provides so much more in return. So once I got back from this mega ride, I knew I had something special. I knew I had seen India now like no one else did. So this is what pushed me to start motorcycle tours in India and offer an experience of offbeat places to foreigners and show them how incredible our beautiful country is. I started off with domestic tours first, but by the end of that year, I had already led 3 international tours in South Africa, Bali, and Cambodia. Alongside leading tours, I realized the potential of social media and started posting pictures and videos on Instagram and YouTube. This was something that I did not enjoy at all initially, and I had to literally teach myself every day to be a better photographer, be better at editing, and to be consistent in posting. What also helped me was because I was riding around 10 months every year, I was never short of content, and meeting so many people every day definitely added to my growth, and I soon had many collaboration opportunities and even started working with a lot of tourism boards. But the biggest opportunity that I had gotten, which opened up a whole new world for me, was when I won a photography competition on Facebook that I applied for very, very randomly. Out of the 12,000 people that applied for this, I won. And I not only won this photography competition, but I won a trip to the US and a scholarship to overland across countries on my motorcycle. That's when I started to plan a ride from India to Australia. I faced a lot of resistance. Many people, including my own family and friends, did not believe that a woman could successfully ride a motorcycle around the world. They told me it was too dangerous, it was not suitable for a woman, and that I would never be able to do it. A lot of women told me that motorcycles are too big, you're too thin, you cannot handle it across the world. But I refused to let their doubts and fears hold me back. I knew that I was capable of achieving anything that I set my mind to, and I was determined to prove them wrong. And so in 2018, I set out on my motorcycle. I faced countless challenges along the way, from language barriers and cultural differences to the ever changing danger of riding on unfamiliar roads and terrains, but I never gave up. I pushed through these difficult times and continued to move forward one step at a time. 8 months later and 29,700 kilometers, I made it to Sydney, Australia, after riding through 10 countries, one of the best and most cherished moments of my life. It is only our own fear and disbelief that stops us from going anywhere and doing things. If we step out of our own way and trust, take small steps along the way, that small push is what creates the momentum and opens space for miracles to happen. COVID times were definitely one of the toughest 2 years for me, with no income and both my knees dislocated because I fell off a waterfall while walking. I thought my riding career was over, but God had other plans. I took this opportunity to fulfill my lifelong dream of owning and running a farm stay, which is exactly what I did, and the Boulder House was formed. And this month completes 2 years of successfully running it. From being a person, a biker who only knew how to ride a motorcycle, to now being an entrepreneur running multiple businesses, I've definitely come a long way, don't you think? I did take time, but my knees healed and I was finally able to walk and eventually ride a motorcycle again. My life finally felt like I was back on track, and I really wanted to get out and do a big ride again. So that's exactly what I did. In 2022, I rode through 25 countries in 3 months across Europe and covered about 21,700 kilometers on my Indian motorcycle, the Bajaj Domino named Sky. I would have never thought that a girl from Hubli would be riding across the world on a motorcycle, going to all these beautiful places like the Eiffel Tower, the Petronas Towers, Sydney Harbour Bridge. But I hope that I gave a little motivation for all the girls who to follow their passion as well as go beyond boundaries. So what I've learned over the years is it's hard not knowing the way and to face the unknown. But the bravest thing one can do is to follow what scares you. So go chase your dreams and make them possible. Dream big, my friends. Thank you.